Creating worlds and settings in the ImagCard role-playing game is actually incredibly easy, and at any time you can create a whole new world or add to one by creating what we call world things. In order to do this, you draw 5 of any types of cards. So we have the world, the things, and the actions cards. Let's just say we'll have 2 world, 1 things, and 2 actions. So what we drew here was some kind of wall or something, a flag, some scissors, a frowny face, and somebody eating. Now, of course, these are all up to personal interpretations. You can decide they mean whatever you want. But let's just say that instead of adding to a world, we're creating a whole new one. So what you do then is you actually draw 5 cards per player. So let's just say that we're playing with 3 players. So let's grab another 10. And it's completely random. It doesn't really matter what sets you draw from when you're creating world things. Now that we've drawn the appropriate number of cards, we'll just get the excess ones out of the way. And we also now have a jail cell, a sundial, a flashlight, some kind of desert landscape, something being smashed with a hammer, somebody defending with a shield, somebody doing something with their ear, maybe it's a phone, maybe they're just listening, a wig on a wig stand, a DNA strand, and somebody kicking. So what we do now is each player will go around the table and select up to 3 of these to come up with a fact about the world. Now these have to be wide-ranging facts. Basically it's something that affects the entire world. So let's just start with something simple. Let's say we take the sundial and the flashlight, and we'll say that there is, actually, why not? Let's also add this person listening. And we'll say that there is an extreme shortage of light because days are incredibly short, and therefore people have incredibly good hearing. Bing! So we've just created a very complex, very good world thing that includes a lot of details about the world that we can build on later as we play. So we'll just set those aside, and now we have our first world thing. Next, let's grab these 2 here. And let's say that because of the lack of light, the world has been largely reduced to a desert with very few oases of actual growable food. Not so much water oases as they are food oases, and therefore food is at an extreme shortage. Bing! So now we can see how world things can build off other world things that we came up with previously. Next, let's take this defending guy, this wall thing, and this flag, and let's say that because of the lack of resources, different nation states have really divided up very, very well. They defend their borders to defend their food. Of course, this would be a nation state. The flag is sort of a symbol of a nation. And they've set up walls and strong borders to defend themselves. Bing! So you have this very sort of totalitarian, multiple totalitarian regimes across the world controlling the food supply. Let's go on ahead and grab these 2 next and say that for this, there's been a need that's grown for people to break through these barriers, largely via disguise and subterfuge, and sort of more of a spy situation more than like a rebellion situation. Bing! So you have what you might call coyotes, essentially, breaking through different barriers, getting very good at sneaking through the different borders to get goods, services, people across these borders. But just for good measure, just to really build out the world's detail, let's grab these 3 and say that because of this, different city-states have started to implement genetic tailoring that adds keys and locks to people's DNA to make it easier to track them, easier to tell who belongs where, mark different citizens as citizens of this country or that country via their DNA, and that splicing and slicing of that DNA is often used to help people sneak through, to give people maybe universal keys or to remove their keys altogether. Bing! So you have this subclass of people who are unkeyed or rekeyed or multi-keyed, and there's sort of a you can see how you could build off that later on to have kind of a legal aspect to that, where maybe being unkeyed is makes it more difficult to live in society. Maybe you use your genetic key to pay for things or something, or maybe being rekeyed is illegal, or maybe being multi-keyed is extremely illegal, punishable with death or something. So you can see how we're starting to build it off. Previously it could have been in any kind of setting. This might have been medieval, this might have been modern day, it could have been futuristic, but now we're really getting down to it. It's now definitely a futuristic setting. And then these last two, you know, you don't have to use all of them. I'm just going to say we can't figure out anything with those and it's only 2 cards, so we'll just discard those and call it good. So now we have built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different world things that we would write down in the information about this world that we're doing. And then we'll build our mission and our specific situation and our characters around this world that we've created. And you can see how just in a few minutes you can create a brand new, pretty fully fleshed out world that you can start to experience with your characters.